Boxing King Media in association with Boxer Stephen Espinoza. Stephen, we've seen an interesting press conference there. Who do you think won War of the Words? Some good back and forth between both guys.
I know everybody hates 10-10 rounds, but I think this was a 10-10. They each had some great one-liners, but what I'm struck by really is the confidence. Most fighters are very confident, but here you hear absolute confidence from each of them. While they both acknowledge the quality of the opponent, they both have a lot of respect for the opponent. They're both absolutely confident that they're going to come up on top. I found that interesting.
Obviously, timing's everything. Some people have criticised why it took so long to make, but like Bud said in the press conference, it's happening and it's happening now. What was the biggest obstacle in getting this fight over the line, from your opinion?
Yeah, in terms of timing, it's sort of, personally, I'm a believer that fights tend to happen at the right time. It could have happened earlier, but then it wouldn't have been for the undisputed title, and I think that's an interesting element. There really wasn't one deal point in particular. It had more to do with, getting everything right. And on a fight this big, these guys deserve it. They deserve to have a contract and a deal that they're comfortable with. So if it takes an extra 6 months, an extra year, look, they're still two of the top 3 or 4 fighters in the sport. And I know people got impatient. We're all anticipating it, but the reality, they're still in their prime. This is still a fantastic fight.
I spoke to Kell, Brook and Sean Porter both recently. Both of them are picking Bud to win the fight. What do you take a lot from that?
It's interesting. And look, they know better than anyone else, but sometimes there's also sort of ongoing rivalries and ulterior motives. But look, at the end of the day, you can't really argue with a pick either way. And you can't really. Show me somebody who knows who's going to win and how they're going to win, and I'll show you somebody who really doesn't know what they're talking about, because this one's impossible to predict.
And then obviously we've seen it's going to be on Showtime pay-per-view, but with regards to UK TV rights, we've seen you previously work with DAZN. Is there any indication which channel you will go with in the UK for this?
Yeah, it's really a promoter issue, a TGB and PBC issue, and look, it's a challenge. The UK market is a little bit in some transition, and there are challenges obviously with the start time. This is a little bit better because it's an hour earlier than most of the pay-per-views, but I think it's open for bids. So I think they're soliciting all those, but clearly this is a fight that deserves major distribution in the UK.
Good stuff. And what can we expect on the undercard? Any fights to be announced, or any names you can mention to us now?
Well, the one not officially announced, but we're confirming, is Isaac Cruz, Pitbull, which one of my favorite fighters to watch as a fan. Always entertaining, power punching, action fighter. I think that's a good, solid undercard. Each of Bud and Errol will have a couple fighters on the card, maybe in the prelims, most likely in the prelims undercard. That the rest, we should have the rest of the card within a week or two.
We've seen you obviously previously work with Canelo for a one-fight deal. I believe he's a free agent. Are you guys interested in speaking to Canelo again?
Oh, absolutely. Again, as a fan, I would really love to see the Benavidez fight, the Charlo fight. To me, those are the two most attractive fights as fans. So hope is that's the direction he goes, but he's got plenty of good options and a legacy that he's building. So I think everyone's sort of waiting for the decision of which direction he wants to go.
Can I get an update from you in regards to Wilder? We've seen him recently talking to the Saudis, potentially taking on Anthony Joshua in December. Is he still is he a free agent? Does he have any contractual ties to Showtime or PBC?
No, he does not have contractual ties to PBC. We still have a relationship. Had dinner with him a few weeks ago when he was here in New York. I think he's doing the right thing. Similar to Canelo, you get to a certain stage in your career, similar to Crawford, that you can take things into your own hands and sort of navigating yourself. And I think that's what Canelo's done, that's what Crawford has done, and that's what Wilder's doing, is getting out there and seeing what the options actually are for him. And whether it's Ruiz, whether it's Joshua, whether it's Usyk, heard him mention all of those. Look, there's still a lot of mileage left in Deontay Wilder, and there's some of the biggest fights in the sport available to him.
Stephen, you've put on 2 back-to-back great events, Tank Garcia and this fight. Nobody expected either fight to happen anytime soon. You've made it happen, but some British fans, and Eddie Hearn namely as well, mentioned recent times that a lot of the upcoming Showtime fighters have been inactive, namely Jaron Ennis, the Charlo brothers. I know injuries may play a part as well, but can you give us an update in regards to that? How can we expect these guys in the ring like 2-3 times a year? Because looking on BoxRec, they fought like once, twice.
I mean, look, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, everybody knows everything that Eddie does is the greatest thing in the world, and he thinks everything everyone else does is terrible. If he was following anything or had any idea what he was talking about, he would know that Jamel is still dealing with a hand injury. Jamal is dealing with a personal situation. Jaron Ennis was waiting for this fight to be made to see whether he would get one of the two of them or potentially Keith Thurman. So inactivity, if you're not paying attention, can be something which is problematic. But if there are reasons before it, then there really isn't a reason for criticism. We saw as soon as Ennis, as soon as we made this fight, Ennis scheduled his fight, and he's looking to get into the title mix at 147 as quickly as possible. So, look, those fighters, they're the ones that are active. They all want to be active, and the ones that are not, there's typically a reason for that.
Stephen Espinoza, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.